Hello and Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to solve past paper and it is October-November 2021 and paper 1-1. So this is a series of paper 1. Once we finished and once paper is gone, then we will go to solve paper 2 series. So going to start this paper. In the first question, you can see we have to work out a fraction means making us this fraction as a single fraction in its simplest form. So these two are going to subtract it. So the denominators are 8 and 4. What's the LCM of 8 and 4? That is 8. We have to make the second denominator 8. How to make it? So we have to multiply by 2 and divide by 2 in the second fraction means 1 times 2 and similarly 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. We can simplify directly because it is of having 1 mark. So we can write down 8 in the denominator and 7 minus 1 2 times is 2. 7 minus 2. 7 minus 2 is resulting in 5. So 5 over 8 is the final answer for this fraction. So moving ahead to the second part, in second part B, work out where to work out 0.02 times 0.2. There is a easiest way to solve this. We have to remove the decimals and then divide by, you can say if it is there are two digits, we have to divide by 100. If there is one digit, we have to divide by 10. So similarly, we have to multiply the numerators like as it is 8 times 2 is 16 and 100 times 10 is 1000. So 16 divided by 1000 is basically we have to shift decimals 3 digits towards left. So 2 digits are 1 and 6 and we have to put another 0 before 1. So it will be 0.016. That will be the simplified answer. So next question is basically we have to write down the numbers in the ascending order. So how to write down the answers in ascending order? So for doing this, we need to convert all of the numbers into the same thing. Like if we want to do convert them into decimals, that will be fine. If we want to convert into percentages, that's fine. So I'm going to follow the conversion into the fractions. So how to make 8 over 10 as the fraction, 0.8 as the fraction in its simplest form? It is 8 by 10. What about 82%? 82% is basically 82 over 100. Similarly, 17 over 20 is already written here. And what about 0.83? It can be written as 83 over 100. So all of the numbers, you can say 3 by 4 is already in fraction. So look at all the fractions and look at the denominators. What is the LCM of, you can say all of these means 400, 20, 100 and 10. You can check in rough work, the LCM must be 100. How to make 100? Two of the, you can say, fractions are already in, means, or the denominators are already 100. So how to convert the other ones? So how to convert this 10 as 100? We have to multiply with 10 and similarly multiply the numerator with 10 as well. So it is converted to 80 over 100. So we converted this. What about 17 or 20? So we have to multiply by 5. 25 times is 100. So 17 5 times is 85 and 85 over 100 is the equivalent fraction of 17 over 20. Similarly, how to convert 4 into 100? We have to multiply by 25. So similarly multiply the numerator by 25 as well. So it will be 75 over 100. So look at the numerators. Which of the numerator is the smallest among all of these? The smallest is 75. So 75 or 100 is basically equivalent number that we have converted is 3 by 4. So we have to write down 3 by 4 at the start. What is the number after 75 that is the smallest? We can check that is 80. 80 over 100 is basically written in the question is 0.8, but write down the, you can say the exact number, the exact thing that is given in the question. We don't have to write down the fraction. We have to write down the decimal if it is given 0.8. What is the numerator after 80? It is basically 82. 82 or 100 is basically 82%. We have to write down 82%. At the third spot, after 82, it is 83, and 83 over 100 is 0.83. So write down 0.83 at this position. And the last one, 85 over 100, is given as 17 over 20. That is the biggest number among all of these numbers. So moving ahead to the next question. In the next question, it is basically related to percentages. So we have to work out. Work out means we have to find a number basically. So 45% is basically anything that is written with percentage is basically divided by 100. Off means multiplication and times 30. Now simplify. 0 will be cut with 0, and similarly 5. 2 times is 10, and 5, 9 times is 45. So 9 times 3 is 27, and 27 divided by 3 is basically 13 whole 1 over 2, or we can say 13.5. Both are the same answers. We can write down 13 whole 1 over 2. So this is a simplified answer for question number 3. So I hope so you understand this. So moving to question number 4 on the next page, that is related to rotation symmetry and as well as line of symmetry. So what we have to do, look at the question, shade one more small square. So the diagram has rotational symmetry of order 4. What does this mean? If we rotate it 4 times, we are getting the same figure which is mentioned at the initial state. Means this is the initial state. But what we have to do, we have to shade one more small square in order to get the same figures after the rotation of 90, then 180, because the complete square, a complete square must have the maximum rotation symmetry of 4. So it must be having 4. So it means that we have to rotate by 90, then 180, then 270, and then 360. That will be the original shape, and that will be the last rotation symmetry for a square. So you can see any of the circles. You can say this square and this. These are, you can say, at the very, you can say, at different positions. So there are 3 squares, small squares, that are shaded. We need to shade one more square like this at anywhere else. Means if we shade this shape, that will be giving our answer. You can check your answers through rotating your paper as well. You can rotate and you can check whether you will be having the same result or not. So definitely when you rotate after shading this, you will get the original shape 4 times. So this is the required answer. This is the region that is to be shaded in order to get the rotation symmetry of order 4. So in the next part, we have to shade 2 of the squares in order to get 2 lines of symmetry. Line of symmetry is basically a line that is basically a mirror line for the object. Means that we are having the same shape onto the other side as well. So this diagram is already a complete square, so it must be having, I can say, different kinds of lines of symmetry. So you can check, you can see by drawing different lines. If you say, if you draw this line, so whether it will be having the rotation symmetry on left hand side and right hand side, I'm going to check. And first of all, drawing a simple line of symmetry, and then we can check. So you can see at this position, this circle, this square is shaded. So after this mirror line, the same position must also be shaded. Once this is shaded, this square is at the same position onto the mirror line to the other side of the mirror line. So we have, if we shade this, then it is satisfying. Otherwise, you can see this square is as having the same place at this. Similarly, as at the same distance, at the same position, this will be shaded with this. What would this? This is shaded according to this, but this is shaded and the other square is not shaded onto the other side of the mirror line. So if we shade this, then it is a perfect, we can say, diagram for the lines of symmetry. The figure is already, we can say, having this line of symmetry. So this is one of the line of symmetry. If we draw any other line, means onto other shape, if we draw onto the other diagonal, say this diagonal, so whether it is satisfying means if we see, you can say from this diagram, so this square is having at the same position at this. Yes, we have already done. Similarly, we can see this square is having the same shape as this. So it means that we have proved, we have done the shaded portions for the line of symmetry. Uh, you can draw different lines of symmetry according to the shape. You can draw at different positions for solving these kind of questions, and then you can check whether you are doing the same thing or not, whether you're having the reflected image onto the other side or not. If you are not getting that reflected image, then you have to do something else. So this is the rule for solving these type of questions. So moving to the next part, in the next part is a basic algebra type of question. Basic algebra means like terms are given, all of the terms are like, and we have to simplify them. So I have to write down a one times and addition and subtraction of the coefficients of the a, like 3 and minus 1 is basically giving us 2, positive 2 and positive 2 makes 4. So 4a is a simplified answer of it. No need to go into other working. So this is question number 5. So what about question number 6 is basically a construction of a triangle question. We can see locus and construction, the complete topic name, which is to be, you can say, done here. Line AB is already drawn for you. So what we have to do, they are saying that AC is basically, I can say, length of a triangle that's given as 5 centimeters. Similarly, BC length is given at 7 centimeters, and it must be a triangle. We have to construct a triangle. So what we have to do, you can see, yes, we have to construct the triangle according to the dimensions which are given. So how we can do, we have to use compass and ruler. Only these two will be used, and then it will be solved. You can see till A till C is 5 centimeters. C must be any other point, either below or above this AB line. It will be fine, no issues at all. You have to construct. So open your, you can say, compass till 5 centimeters, and then put that compass needle at A, and then construct an arc of 5 centimeters, which you have opened your, you can say, compass, that will be looking like this. It will be A and C, and we can see C will be mentioned later on, but means that AC's length is 5, so I have to open our compass till 5 centimeters. Similarly, BC length is 7 centimeters, so we have to open our compass of 7 centimeters and putting that needle onto point B, and then draw an arc that must intersect the previous arc. So it must be looking like this, and the point where both of the arcs join, it must be point C. Now simply join C point with uh, A and B. That will be our answer. That is like this. It must be looking like this. So this is basically the construction of triangle AB. It is part A. So moving ahead to part B, what actually we have to do in part B. In part B, use a straight edge, and compasses only. Only compass must be used. Construct the perpendicular bisector. Perpendicular means we have to draw a 90-degree thing, and bisector means cutting into half. Thing means you must need to remember the construction of perpendicular bisector and line AB. So first of all, calculate the length of line AB. So what is the length of line AB? So you can check through ruler. So the length is approximately you can say 6 centimeters. It's 6 centimeters. So 6 centimeters is actually given, you can say the length of AB. So what we have to do for drawing the perpendicular bisector, we need to, you can say, remember the steps. First of all, open your compass till more than half of 6. What's half of 6? It's 3. You can open your compass till 3.5, 3.7, 3.8, anything till 4, it will be fine. So you can open your compass more than half of that 6, that will be 4 centimeters, and draw an arc here. Draw an arc, we can say it can be looking like this, and similarly draw an arc below as well, placing your compass at A. Similarly, place your compass at B and open that much you can say compass. No need to change the length. Open that much compass and draw an arc of the same length, and drawing intersecting the previous arc. Similarly, below as well, the same process will be done. Now, if you join these 2 points, that will be the required. So it is basically the required solution. My figure is not exact, I can say, to the mark. If you have a compass, then you will be having your diagram in the correct dimensions. But I'm just giving you the concept that it must be having 90-degree here. It means that it's perpendicular. And bisector means it must be 3 centimeters from A till that point. And similarly, it must also be 3. So if you do through compass, you will be having the exact dimensions. So this is, you can say, you can extend this line as well. So this is basically the construction for the perpendicular bisector. So this is part B. And what else is to be asked in part C? In part C, they are saying that a point W which is lying inside that triangle ABC, and that W is closer to A than to B. We have to shade the region where W lies. We have to shade the complete region where W lies. They are saying that it is closer to A than to B. So perpendicular bisector has done, or you can say, thing easier to understand. So the region which is left to that perpendicular bisector is basically the region on which W can be lying, because it is the region that is closer to A than to B. So we can see this is the region we have to shade, that is left towards the perpendicular bisector. So if you shade this region, that will be all, means W can be lying here. If you mention the other way around, means on the right hand side, that will be wrong, because that region towards, you can say, right of the perpendicular bisector is near towards B, not towards A. So this is all from this question. So moving ahead to question number 7. In question number 7, it's basic, I can say, indices question. So how to solve it? Any number raised to the power of 0 results in 1. If it is variable, if it is a constant number having power 0, the result always gives us 1. So moving to the next, it's also the index part. When the bases are same, powers must be added. So we have to add the powers right on the base 1 times and add 3 and 5. That results in 8. M raised to the power 8 is the final solution. So next is basically the unit conversions. Like 6300 meters, we have to convert into kilometers. So we must remember the, you can say, the conversion rate, that is 1 kilometer is basically equals to 1000 meters. So how to convert? You have to remember that thousand number. If we're going to convert meter, that is a smaller unit than the kilometers. So for conversion from smaller to the bigger unit, we have to divide with that the conversion thing. We have to divide with that thing, means we have to divide 6300 by 1000. So divide, cut down the zeros, and 63 over 10, shift the decimal towards the left. That is 6.3 kilometers. That is basically equals to 6300 meters. So in the next question, you have to remember the square formulas, square conversion units. So if you know that on the scale, it's 1 centimeter is lying in between that 1 centimeter, there are 10 small, you can say, lines that are basically the millimeter things. So if you know 1 centimeter, that is equals to 10 millimeters. So in order to having the square units, what we have to do, we have to take the squares on both sides. For taking the squares, the units become squared as well. So square of 1 always gives you 1, and centimeter square becomes centimeter square. So I can say double the number of zeros. So if there is 1 0, we have to make it double. It becomes 100, and millimeter square is millimeter square. So 1 centimeter square results in 100 millimeter square. So this is a unit conversion thing for the square units. So moving towards the next question, that is question number 9, and it is related to the interior angle of a regular polygon. So we must remember the formula of interior angle of regular polygon. I'm writing down here for your, you can say, remembrance, and that must be remembered in order to get full marks out of this specific question. Regular polygon, you must remember the formula that will be n minus 2 times 180. That is basically the sum of interior angles and divided by the number of sides that will be giving you one interior angle. So how to solve this? They have actually given the interior angle. So we can replace that one interior angle with 156, and we have to find the number of sides n for this, which is equals to n and minus 2 n times 180 degrees divided by n. Now cross multiply, 156 times n becomes 166 n, 180 times n is 180 n, and 180 times 2 is 360. Now bringing that n onto the one side of the equation, 156n and minus 180n, which is equals to negative 360. So 180 minus 156 results in 24, but with negative sign, because 180 is having a negative sign here. It is equals to negative 360. So negative and negative will be cut, and divide 24 onto the other side, and then you will be having your answer in the next step. What's the highest common factor of 24 and 360? You can check in rough work. It must be 15. You can check. So n equals to 15. That are basically the number of sides of a regular polygon, which is having one interior angle is 156 degrees. So you have to remember the formula. Once you remember the formula, you can apply this thing and you will get the required answer. So moving to question number 10. In question number 10, one of the angle of a triangle is given 55 degrees, and they're saying that other two angles are in the ratio of 3:5. So if it is 3:5, we must know that if one angle is given, what about the sum of other angles? Sum of angles will be sum of other two angles. I mean, sum of other two angles will be 180 minus 55. 180 and minus 55 results in 135. Sorry, 125. 125 is basically the sum of angles of having the ratio 3 ratio 2. They're saying that we have to find the size of the smallest angle. Which ratio is the smallest? 2 is the smallest ratio. So for finding the angle of this, we have to you can say divide the ratio of 2 with the total ratio, that is 5, and multiply with the total sum of these two angles, that is 125. So after doing this, so 5 2 times is 10 and 2 and 5 is 25. So 5 times 25. So 25 2 times is 50. So 50 degree is the smallest angle. If they are saying that we have to find the largest angle, then what we have to do? We have to take the ratio of 3 and divide by the total ratio and times the total angle. Then we will be having the largest angle among these two. So this is question number 10. Which is having answer of 50 degrees. So 50 is obvious smaller than 55 as well. So it will be the smallest. 3 will be giving the largest angle. You can check in the rough work as well. So moving to question number 11. In question number 11, it's basically related to numbers question, and we can say estimation question. So what we have to do, they are saying that we have to correct each number, that it must be to one significant figure. So 58.24 to one significant figure results in 60. Means you have to stop till 5. The other number is greater than 5. So to add 1 into that 5, that becomes 60. And divided by 32 becomes 30. Means 3 is the first significant figure. After this, that is 2, which is smaller than 5. So if we have to convert this 0, no need to add 1 into that 3 because it is smaller than 5, and then times 0.1 is the first significant. We can simplify it 0.100 or 0.1, both are the same. So remove that decimal sign. So what we have to do, we have to multiply with 10 in the numerator. So it becomes 30 and it becomes 1. After that, we can remove that zeros, and 3 1 times and 3 2 times is 6, 2 10 times is 20. That is the estimated answer. I hope so you understand these type of questions. You can get full marks, means obviously it's normally a 2-mark question. So you must not lose your marks in these type of questions. So moving ahead to the next question, it's involving the simultaneous linear equations. So for solving simultaneous linear equations, we must have to use any of the method, but I'm following the elimination method. So for solving the elimination method, we must have the same, I can say coefficients, but having the different signs. So we can see it is 1. So if the coefficient is 1, it's very easy to make similar to the other coefficient in the other question, other equation. So it is 3. So this conversion to the 3 is quite easy. We have to multiply the first equation by 3. So after multiplication with the 3, we have to put equals to it, equals to and 12. So after multiplication, 3 2 times results in 6x and minus 3y, and 3 12 times is 36. So writing down the other equation straight away, the like terms under the like terms. So it is plus 3y, because we are going to eliminate y coefficient. So how to eliminate y? So minus 3y plus 3y will be cut. 7 plus 6 is 13x. If you add 36 with 29, results in 65. So this equation is reduced to one variable. Now what we have to do, we have to divide that 13 onto the other side. It results in 5. 13 1 times and 13 5 times is 65. So if x is 5, so what we have to do for finding the value of y, we can place the value of 5, value of x equals to 5 in any of the equations. If you're putting in first, this is first equation, this is second, and we can say this is the third one. So you can apply the value of x into the any of the equation. I'm just putting this x equals to 5 in equation number 1. So after putting in equation 1, 2 times x is 5 minus y equals to 12. So now 2 times 5 is 10 and minus y equals to 12. Now bring that 10 onto the other side. Negative y equals to 12 minus 10 results in 2. So negative y equals to 2. So for having the positive answer, multiply with negative 1 on both sides. It results in y equals to negative 2. So negative 2 equals to y, which is the result here. So moving towards the next question, onto the next page, which is related to transformation. So look at the diagram. There is a transformation of triangle A and B are given. So we have to describe the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. So there are 4 types of transformations. So which one is this? You can see from the diagram, this triangle A is moved as it is to triangle B. Only the direction is, you can say, the triangle is just moved. It is not changing its, you can say, direction like clockwise or anti-clockwise. It's not rotated, it's not enlarged, or it's not, you can say, reflected thing. It's moved as it is. So how many units moving? So we have to write, it's basically transformation type. We have to write down the transformation type here. And the transformation type is translation here. And next thing in translation, we have to tell column vector. With a column vector, of. So what is column vector? Column vector is basically, if you take any of the points, like in the same points, corresponding point, I'm taking this point on this triangle, and similarly this point is moved to this point. So check whether the triangle is moved leftwards or rightwards. So it is movement of A to B, it is leftwards. So how many units? It's shifted towards left. So moving towards this point to this, it is 1 unit towards left, then the 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 units leftwards. We can say in x-axis, it is negative 5. So if we are moving towards right, that x conversion will be positive. What about y? So if it is moving upwards, values of y are positive. It's moving downwards, values of y are negative. So we can see this point is moved upwards. How many units upwards? So 1 unit, 2, 3, and 4. So it must be positive 4 in y dimension. So this is a column vector, and minus 5 and 4. So remember, reflection questions and translation questions are always having 2 marks. So this is a hint in this type of question when it is having 2 marks. So you can check whether it is translation or reflection. The other 2 types, rotation and as well as the enlargement, will be having 3 marks because it's requiring 3 things. So that's why it will be having. Now, going to solve part B of this question. In part B, it is given that triangle A is mapped onto triangle C and with an enlargement with a center is 0, -1 and scale factor of positive 2. So 0, -1, first of all, plot that point. The point must be lying here. This is the point 0 and -1. This is the center of enlargement. Through it, the enlargement is being done. So what we have to do, they're saying that the scale factor is positive. Positive means that it is not upside down. It will be as it is. But what about, you can say, simple integer value? Integer value means it is basically the shape is basically expanded, not contracted. So what we have to do, we have to pass all of the lines. We have to draw from each of the point through that center of enlargement. So I am simply making this line and starting from here and extend it till the whole grid. If we make like this, then it will be easier to solve. So I am passing uh, this point from this line. Oh, pardon. So what we have to do, we have to pass this point from this line, this point, the center of enlargement, and stay still here. And we have to go to the other side to extend these lines. It must be straight one. So it must be looking like this. It's perfect. What about the other one? The last one must be going to pass from this point to the center of enlargement, and it must go straight to the other side of the grid. So how to figure out center of enlargement? If you can see the same 2 points, the corresponding 2 points means that if this line is passing from here and the other line which is passing from here, what's the vertical distance? There are 2 units. So they are saying that center of enlargement is double. Double means that if there are 2 units, it becomes 4 units. So if you go ahead, you cannot be having the same thing onto the other side. If you do, it will be the reflected kind of image, but we are not going to do like this. The shape must be straight as it is. So if we look onto the other side of the, you can say grid, like here, from this point till this point, which I'm simply saying that these two are the points, corresponding point, you can see the units, the difference of the units are 4 units. So we have done this. So similarly, this line means this point is having 1 unit difference. If we go ahead, and similarly, if we move leftwards, it will be having 2 units. Double of 1 is 2. So if we join all of these points, it will be the enlarged figure. So I'm making an enlarged figure like this, joining these 2 points. Similarly, joining these points. You can see the figure is doubled, or we can say it's enlarged. So we have to show this is triangle C. We have to label as well. First of all, draw the triangle. We have to look enlargement where it has to be done, and then we have to label as well. So this is all from this question. So moving to next question. Question number 14. We have to express 60 as the product of prime factors. So we have to do prime factorization like this. So 60 is an even number to 30 times, and again it's divided by 2 to 15 times. So now 3 is the minimum prime number that divides 15. So 3 5 times, and then 5 1 times. So 60 is basically written as 2 times 2 and times 3 and times 3. So we can write down this thing as the index notation as well. Both are 5. So 2 times 2 is 2 squared, and times 3 times 5. Both are fine. If we are going to write the index notation, it will be having the correct answer as well. So I hope so. These questions are very common, and I hope so you understand this. So what's next question? It's basically a statement kind of question, but you need to read all of the points and then you can solve it. A school buys packs of pens and packs of rulers. So there are 60 pens in each pack of pens, and similarly 40 rulers in each pack of rulers. So what we have to do, school wants to buy exactly the same. Exactly means we have to do the common thing. What's the common thing? The same number of pens and rulers. Work out the smallest. What does smallest mean? Smallest is basically the synonym of lowest, and this thing tells us common. So lowest and common represents lowest common multiple. This is the hint we have to do. They're saying that of each pack the school buys means how many numbers of you can say rulers, and what about the smallest number of pens in that. So we have to do LCM of 60 and 40, and then we will solve it further. So we're going to do 60 and 40 dividing, the both are even numbers. We divide by 2 to 30 times. Again, it is divided by 21. So now the common factor is 3. So I divide by 3, 3 10 times, and 3 7 times. So we can see 3 times 2 is basically HCF, means highest common factor is 6. And if we multiply with 10 and then 7, it results in LCM, and LCM will become 420. You can check. So 420 are the total, you can say, thing which is to be required. Means they are buying the same number, means overall results gives us in 420, which will be the LCM of this question. But they are saying that we have to tell the smallest number of each pack. Each pack means the uncommon factors will be the results. Means if we divide 60 by 6, it results in 10. So there are 10 number of packs of pens. So we can write down there are 10 packs of pens. And similarly, if we divide 42 by the HCF, that is 6, so it will be 7. So the exactly number of packs of rulers must be 7. So hope so you understand this. In next question, there is a position vector given. Position vector is basically represented as OA, and it is equals to the same thing 3 and minus 7. So we have to find the coordinates of point B when AB vector is given. So there is a formula for AB's vector. It must be second vector's position vector. Position vector will be OB and subtracted by the first point's position vector. That's OA. Actually, we need to find the coordinates of OB. So I have to write down OB here. It must be equals to AB, and then it must be added with OA. So add both of the column vectors. So AB is basically minus 5 and 12. Similarly, plus OA is 3 and minus 7. Add all of the values means OB will be equals to minus 5 and plus 3 results in negative 2. 12 plus minus 7 is 12 minus 7. That's positive 5. So this is position vector of OB, and coordinates will be negative 2 and 5. So a representation of position vector in terms of coordinates will be like this. So we can write down negative 2 here and 5 here. This will be the answer for the coordinates of point B. In next question, we have to find the magnitude of AB vector. So AB vector is given. So what we have to do is write down square root and take square of the values. We have to write down negative 5 inside the bracket because it's square of negative 5. If you write down like this, it will be wrong. Means that it will take only the square of 5 and negative will be written as it is. But in this case, the value is negative 5, so I have to write down negative 5 inside the bracket, and we have to add the y values. What are the y values? Y is in this case is 12, 12 squared. So negative 5 squared is 25, and similarly 12 squared is 144. If we add both of them, it results in square root of 169, and you have to remember first 15 square and square roots you can say mentally. Otherwise, these are questions in paper one. If you forgot what's the square, you can do in rough work as well. So which square is basically which number square is 169? So it's basically 13. So 13 is the answer for this magnitude of AB vector. So moving towards next question, onto the next page. So it's question number 16, and it's related to mean. Mean of the result is given, that is 3. We have to find the value of p. So what is mean? Means formula is summation fx, that's the sum of data, and divided by summation f, that's the number of data. Mean is given, I have to replace 3 here. What is fx? Fx means multiply frequency with the corresponding value of the data 6 times 1 and then have to be added with 5 times 2 and then have to be added with 13 times 3, and similarly the last value will be p times 4. So whole divided by what's the frequency here? If we add all of them, 6 plus 5 is 11, 11 plus 13 is 24, and 24 plus p. So now we can simplify and find the value of p here. So 3 equals to 6, and plus 10 is 16, and plus 39 will be 55, 55, and plus 4 times p is 4p divided by 24 plus p. Now cross multiply and then simplify for p. So it will be 3 times 24 plus p, which will be equals to 55 plus 4p. Now 3 times 24 is 72. You can check in rough work. 3 times p is 3p equals to 55 and plus 4p. Bringing p's onto the one side of the equation, that's 3p and minus 4p. It will be subtracted 55 and minus 72. So 3p minus 4p is negative p. Subtract 3 from 4, that's 1, and sign will be negative. 72 minus 55 is 17, sign will be negative. Negative and negative will be cut, so P's answer will be 17. So I hope so you understand this. So what we have to do in the next, we have to find the relative frequency of the spinner landing on 2. So what is the frequency actually that's, you can say, spinner is landing on 2? That is 5. So that is 5. So we have to divide 5 with which number, means the total frequency. The corresponding frequency will be divided with the total. So if p's value is 17, so what will be the answer for the total frequency? That is 6 plus 5 is 11, 24 plus 17 is 41. That's the total sum of the frequency. So we can write down 5 over 41 is the relative frequency of the spinner that is landing on 2. So we can write down 5 over 41. It must be the correct answer. So moving towards the next question. In next question, it's algebra question where to factorize. When two terms are going to be squared, in between there is a negative sign, so we have to apply the identity a squared minus b squared. So it must be equals to a plus b times a minus b. So what's you can say 4 is squared of, that's 2, and b squared is square of b whole squared, and c squared is square of c. So it's a plus b, a is 2b in this case, plus c and times 2b and minus c. This is the answer. It is having just 1 mark. If you have done it directly, that will be fine as well. So what's the next question that is being asked? That is factorize. Look at the command words. It's also saying factorize. And there are 3 terms. So if there are 3 terms, we have to look at the midterm break first. Okay. So in midterm break, we have to multiply the last terms, means constant term, with the coefficient of the x squared, the term, that is 1. So 6 times 1 results in 6. So last term sign is negative. So uh, we have to find the factors of 6. When we are going to subtract them, it results in 5. The factors are same. Which one? 1 and 6. So what will be the sign of 6? It must be positive because it's a bigger factor and midterm is having the positive sign as well. We can write down 6 with x and then minus 1x, or we can say just x, it will be fine. So x will be taken as common from the first two. It will be x and plus 6. So if nothing is common, 1 is to be taken as common. But if the sign is negative with the third term, we write down minus and 1 here, and then x, and fourth term sign will be changed. So x plus 6 will be taken as common, and in the other bracket we have to write down x minus 1. So this is the answer for this question. So moving towards the next question. What is the next question? It is on the other page. So it is basically graphical inequalities. So we have to, we can say, define the region which is basically uh, drawn by these inequalities. So how to figure out these inequalities? We have to just, I can say, draw the lines which are basically x equals to 1, x equals to 5, y equals to 0, y equals to 4, and similarly the last one will be done later on. So first of all, draw the line x equals to 1 and x equals to 5. So it must be passing from x equals to 1 and it is parallel to y-axis, so it must be like this. So this is a line. Similarly, x equals to 5 will be drawn like this, passing from x equals to 5. Similarly, y equals to 0 is basically the x-axis. We don't have to draw the line. Okay, we can draw horseshoes and that. It's already drawn here, but to draw as well. Y equals to 4 will be drawn parallel to x-axis, but it's passing from y equals to 4. So it must be drawn like this. So these are the 4 lines which we have drawn from the given inequalities. How to draw the last one? For the last one, we can see it's basically represented in two of the variables. So we have to look at the equation of straight lines standard form. It is y equals to mx plus c. And look at this inequality, and we have to just look at this means x will be written under x. It will be negative x. Similarly, and it's positive 3. So if we want to plot any of the 2 points, it will be fine. So if we take x equals to 1, x equals to 2 for, you can say putting the values here and then we can figure out the values of y, it will be fine. So I'm plotting, I'm putting x equals to 1 here. So what's the value of y? It will become -1 and plus 3, it results in positive 2. We have to plot this point 1 and 2. 1 and 2 will be plotted at this point. Similarly, if we put x equals to 2, x equals to 2 results in 3 minus 2 results in positive 1. So point is 2 comma 1. When x is 2, y is 1. So it must be the point. And if we join these 2 points, it will be our solution for this. So we are going to join these 2 points and moving ahead to the grid. So it will be looking like this. It will be the line. So what actually we have to do, we have to draw the region. Region is basically, it's saying that x is greater than or equals to 1. Greater than equals to 1 means the region must be lying right towards it. X is smaller than equals to y means it will be lying left towards it. Similarly, y equals greater than equals to 0 means the region must be lying above it, and smaller than 4 means it must be lying below that 4. Similarly, y is greater than means it will be up, the region will be above y equals to uh, 3 minus x. So it must be the region. So it must be the region that is basically defined here. If we have, haven't said to be shared, but I'm shading for understanding what's actually the region. So this is the exact region which we have to plot. If you have any queries, you can write in comment section. I have explained already the graphical inequalities in detail, but if you want more questions to be solved, I will do in further videos as well. So this is 4 mark question. If you've done all the process correctly, all the you can say lines have been plotted correctly and the region is defined correctly, that will be you can say having you can see you will be having full marks out of it. Next question is basically related to sets. Find x intersection y means the common elements between x and y. What are the common elements? One is 2, the other one is 3, and then it's 5. So only these elements are, you can say, common. So we can write down 2, 3, and 5 inside that brackets. So what's the next question? They're saying that a number k is chosen at random from universal set. K will be any element from this. So what we have to do, find the probability that k is not belonging to x union y. First of all, we have to find x union y. So x union y is basically the set of the elements which involve x and y, and the repeating elements will be written one time. So we can write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And what other elements that are not in y and present in x? That are 7 and 11. So how many elements in total? There are 8 elements that are present in x union y. They are saying that k is not belonging to those 8 elements. So in actual there are 12 elements. So 12 minus 8 is resulting in 4 and total is 12. out of 12 means we have chosen from E. So that's why we are divided by 12. So 4 are the number elements that are not belonging to X union Y. So if we simplify it, it's fine. 1 over 3 will be the answer, or 4 by 12, both are fine in probability questions. So I hope you understand. Moving towards the next question, we have to shade the region that is basically denoted by A intersection and in brackets B union C whole complement. First of all, figure out B union C and then whole complement. B union C means it involves B and C completely, but whole complement means other region other than these two circles. Other area outside the region will also be included, but they are saying that it will be intersected. The common region of B union C complement with A will be just A region that is not coming in B and C. This is a thing you need to understand about the shading purpose of the Venn diagram. This is the answer. So moving towards the next question. In next question, it's basically sequences question. They're saying that when these are the numbers which are given, we have to write on the next number in the sequence. Look at the sequence. It's, you can say, multiplication by 2, like 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32, times 2 is 64, and times 2 will be 128. It will be the answer for part A. What about part B? They are saying that the next term of the sequence the nth term of the sequence above is 2 raised to the power of n plus 1. This is, you can say, the nth term for this sequence. So what we have to do, they are saying that you have to write an expression in terms of n and for the nth term of this sequence. So for writing the nth term, actually why they have mentioned here, because we have to write our answer in terms of 2 raised to the power of n plus 1. So look at the difference in the values, like first one is 4, here it is 1, 8 and 5, similarly 16 and 13, similarly 32 and 29. What's the difference actually? The difference is 3. If we subtract 1 from 4, it results in 3, and so on. Each and every corresponding values will be subtracted from 3. So the result must be 2 raised to the power of n plus 1, and simple number means 3 will be subtracted from it. That will be the result required. So we have to write down straight away. No hard and fast calculations in this. Just you need to understand what's the concept here. So similar thing will be done for part 2. But just remember the values. So I'm writing down all of the values which are given for 2 raised by n plus 1 here. Like first one is 4, then 8, then 16, then 32, and then goes on to 64. So what's the difference of the values? We can see in the first case, it's 2 raised to the power of n plus 1. I'm just figuring out the other values, means the difference of 10 and 4 is 6. So I'm writing down the difference of both of the values. Similarly, it's 19 and 8 result in 11. Similarly, 32 and it will be 16. 53 and minus 32 is 21. And similarly, 90, it will be 26. Look at the difference. These are the difference of the values, means 10 minus 4, and similarly 19 minus 8, similarly 32 minus 16, and next value was 53 minus 32, the last one was 90 minus 64. These are basically the difference of the values. Why we have found, if we have the same number, then we have to do the same process like we've done in part 1. But how to solve this? Look at the difference. The difference is basically having a linear sequence. You can see the difference of these two values which we have found, like 6, 11, 16. This is basically linear sequence. So if we add 5 into the previous value, it results in the next value. So it means that something is to be added in 2 raised to the power n plus 1, something linear sequence is to be added. It results in the answer. So how to solve this? We have to do the same nth term rule, like a n equals to a plus n minus 1 times d. So a n will be equals towards a. A will be the first value, it's 6, plus n minus 1 and times d. D is the common difference, that is 5. So simplify. So what's the result? It will be 6 and plus 5n minus 5. So what's the result? 5n and 6 minus 5 is positive 1. So actually 5n plus 1 is to be added with 2 raised to the power of n plus 1. So this is the final answer. Actually, we have to add a linear sequence into the previous sequence which is given. That will be the result. So these type of questions will be solved like this. So I hope so all of you understand this. If you don't, write down in the comment section. I will I can say give you some other kind of questions that are similar to this. So moving towards next question. And next question it's a function question. F of minus 1, basically x is the input. So we have to replace x with -1. So in place of x, we can write a 2 minus and -1. So 2 minus 1, -1 means is +1. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So 6 by 3 is 2. We'll write down the answer directly. No need to go into each and every step. So how to find f inverse of x? So first of all, write down the function equals to y and 6 over 2 minus x. Now make x the subject by cross multiplication. 2 minus x times y equals to 6. Now multiply them 2y and minus xy equals to 6. Now bring that 2y onto the other side. So minus xy equals to 6 and minus 2y. So x and y are going to multiply. So minus x equals to 6 minus 2y whole divided by y. So there is a negative sign. If we multiply that negative onto the other side, the values will be changed. Like this means 2y will become positive. Only numerator will be affected. If we change the denominator, that will also be fine. I'm just changing the numerator, so it will be 2y and 6 will become negative whole divided by y. So we can replace x directly with f inverse of x, and similarly replacing all of the y values with x, so it will be the result required 2x minus 6 whole divided by x. So how to solve the next question? On both of the sides, same function is given. There are two processes, but I'm going for the easiest one. So f of t equals to f of 5t plus 2. If there are same functions on both sides, we can cut down as it is. So t will be equals to 5t plus 2. It is a linear equation in one variable. We can solve it directly, bringing the t's onto the one hand side of the equation. So t minus 5t equals to positive 2 results in negative 4t and equals to 2. 2, 4 will be divided onto the other side. So the result will become 2 over minus 4 and 2 1 times and 2 2 times. So result is negative 1 over 2. So the answer of t will be negative 1 over 2. So I hope so. This is the easiest way you can do and you can understand. There is one other way. I'm not going into the difficult one. This is the easiest one. When both of the functions are same on both sides of the equation, we can cut down directly and solve it. So moving towards next question, it's similarity question. Two triangles we have to prove they are similar. So triangle ABC and triangle uh, uh, BCE. So they have said these two lines are straight lines and they only arrows are mentioned. It means that these two are parallel to each other. When these are parallel, that they are mentioned as well. If these two lines are parallel, so angle E must be equals to angle B through alternate interior angle property. So we can write down, you can say A, B, and C. Angle ABC is equals to angle DEC through alternate interior angle property. Alternate interior angle property, and similarly the other one we can say you can say angle C must be equals to angle C, and it's showing that vertically opposite angle. These are vertically opposite, so we can say angle ACD, AC and B will be equals to angle DCE. Sorry, it was DEC, not DEF. So we can write down vertically opposite angles. So the last property, the same vertically alternate interior angle we can put here. Angle D must be equals to angle A because it's also the same property as the first one. So we can write down angle BAC, angle BA and C. It must be equals to angle EDC. So we can write down alternate interior angle. When three of the angles are equal, so it will be fine for similarity concept. So alternate interior angle property. So hence it is proved that and it's proved triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEC. So 3 marks and 3 marks are for the three reasons and three things we have to write on here. The next question, AB's length is 6 and ED's length is 2. So we can figure out AB is 6, AB's length is 6, and similarly DE's length is given, that's 2. And they mentioned as well the triangle's area is 45, which ABC's triangle is area is 45, and we have to find the area of triangle DEC. So if we have, you can say mention triangle DEC's area is A2. So through the area property, means area of the similar shapes property, like A1 over A2 will be equals to corresponding lengths ratio to the squared. So we can see A1 is given, that is 45, and A2 we have to find equals to L1 is the corresponding length for the first figure, that was 6, and divided by L2 is the corresponding length for the second figure. DEC triangle will be 2 whole square. So when there is a whole square means the same power, we can cut down the numbers inside the bracket. So 2 1 times and 2 3 times, so 3 squared is 9. So 45 over A2 equals to 9. And now cross multiplication, it results in A2 equals to 9 will be divided onto those sides, so it results in 5. So 5 is the answer for the triangle DEC's area. I hope you understand through the ratio of the areas of the similar solids, similar shapes. So moving towards the next question. In next question, we have to expand and simplify this. This is basic algebra, so x is going to multiply with x minus 2 and plus 1 is going to multiply with the same term. And then open the brackets, x into x is x squared, 2 times x is 2x, plus 5 times x is 5x, 5 times 2 is 10. So add the like terms in the midterm, it will be positive 3x and then minus 10. So x squared minus 3x and minus 10. X squared plus 3x and minus 10 is the result. So in the next question, we have to simplify both of the algebraic fractions into a single fraction in its simplest form. So x minus 4 and x plus 4 both are different terms. So actually what we have to multiply and divide with x plus 5 with this first fraction, and x minus 4 with the second fraction. We can write down 2 times x minus 4 and whole divided by x plus 5 and times x minus 4. So once the denominators have become the same, we can write down it 1 times x minus 4 and times x plus 5. No need to multiply them later on. So now we have to multiply the numerators. Numerators will be multiplied and simplified as it is. So 3 times x is 3x plus 3 times 5 is 15. And this plus will be considered with this 2. So 2 times x will be 2x. 2 times minus 4 is minus 8. Simplify them. 3 plus 2 is 5. We can write down 5x. 15 minus 8 will be plus 7. So numerator will be written as it is. So this will be the result required. So we can write down here 5x plus 7 whole divided by x minus 4 times x plus 5. So this is algebraic fraction type of question. So moving towards the next question. In next question, it is written a squared. What does a squared means? Where to find a squared? It is basically a multiplied by a. You don't have to take square of individual terms. It will be wrong. So a squared is basically multiplication of two matrices. And matrix is given where to multiply matrix. Matrix multiplication is different than normal multiplication or normal numbers squared. So we have to multiply a with a. So minus 6 times 2 and similarly 1 times 4. Same matrix will be written here. So 1 times 4. So what we have to do, we have to multiply row wise here. Row will be minus 6 times minus 6 becomes positive 6 and this 2 will be multiplied with this one. It becomes positive 2. Similarly, same row and other column. We have to shift to the second column. Minus 6 times 2 minus 12. Similarly, 2 times 4 will be positive 8. What about the next term? 1 times minus 6 is minus 6 and 4 times 1 is positive 4. Similarly, 1 times 2 is 2 and 4 times 4 is 16. Add all of these terms and you have the answer here. So first term is 38, second is minus 4, the other one is minus 2 and the last one is 18. So this is matrix multiplication. You need to understand these type of questions. Otherwise, if you do a very, you can say very odd mistake here, you will get, you will lose your marks. So going towards part B, in part B, one of the unknown is given in the matrix and determinant is given. This is basically determinant. So how to, you can say find determinant, we can write on B mod equals to multiply the numbers diagonally. So minus 3x and there is a negative sign and its value is also negative. So it minus 5 times 2 is minus 10. So there is negative in the formula. It becomes minus 10. You're putting the values of b mod, that is negative 2. So minus 3x, it becomes positive 10. So it is a linear equation in one variable. Then you find the value of x quite easily, bringing 10 onto the other side. So it is negative 12. So negative 12 over negative 3. What's the result? Negative will be equal to negative 3 1 times and 3 4 times. So the answer for x is 4. So I hope so you understand the concept of the gradient. So this is all from this specific paper. If you have any queries, you can write down in the comment section. If you have any queries, or any problems related to any topic, you can tell me as well. So kindly subscribe my channel and share as well. And thanks for watching. So goodbye and all this from today.